listening to Reality Wrap. I'm your host, Melanie. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into Reality Wrap. We missed you guys. This is our first episode of the new year. Happy 2024. We haven't been on since, before Christmas?
Since last year.
Yeah, since last year.
It's crazy.
And while I enjoyed the break, I am super excited to be back here tonight after watching that episode last night.
Oh my God. That was crazy. Andy, thank you for making that the episode we all come back from the vacation to. That was amazing.
I mean, wow. So obviously, tonight we are recapping The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 4, Episode 16, which was the season finale, which makes me sad. I saw someone post on Instagram, it's only January 2nd, and we have probably witnessed the best Housewives episode of the year. And I was like, oh man, they're probably right. This probably was the best episode for the rest of the year. They'd have to, imagine having to top what we just saw last night.
It might be the best episode of any TV show of 2024. I'm really sorry, 2024, and I'm sorry, America, but we might have peaked on day 2. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Bethany, wow.
Wow, Bethany, wow.
So what's so crazy is it seems to be like this ever-evavolving situation. Like all day today, people have been putting out like different receipts. We had Tanisha, the hairdresser, was talking last night on Instagram. She then has also come out again today saying more stuff. Literally as of like 40 minutes ago, Sean and I were just sitting here watching her latest post right before we started recording. And
I'm shaking my head.
I'm like, wow. And then we had Koa posting information, and then Monica was posting information like a couple hours ago. And I'm like, every time I log into Instagram, which has been like all freaking day, I've been trying to work, and like all I keep doing is going on Instagram and like looking at new stuff.
Yeah, to hell with the aliens ever landing on the White House lawn. We have Salt Lake City.
Poor Sean was working all day today, and he came upstairs and he's like, I have literally thought about that episode like 3 times today while I'm trying to write a proposal.
Back-to-back meetings, 12 hours of meetings, writing and everything, and I had to stop. And on one occasion, they were like, Sean, did you hear what we had to say? And I had to say, no, it was a bad connection.
Was it about Monica?
Exactly. And I was thinking about Monica, and I was like, what did she do?
What just happened?
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go ahead and jump into the recap. So not a whole lot happened in the first half of the episode. We see Whitney and Heather make up after Whitney had accused Heather of exploiting her vagina. I will say, rewatching this clip and then knowing what comes out later on, Heather and Whitney made up very quickly after that last explosive thing where we get Whitney screaming at Heather that she exploited her vagina and that she used her vagina to sell books. And then literally Whitney goes in the next morning and Heather's like, okay, I forgive you. Like just that easily. I'm like, oh, I wonder if something was already like going on. And so Heather was just like, yeah, that's fine, because she knew she was going to need all the ladies to come together. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great point, because if you think about it, how did the show start? All the ladies were on the beach, and Heather was talking, but we don't know about what or about who, and then the show starts.
Yeah.
So to your point, I think that's exactly right.
Yeah, I think Heather might have been
She was like, screw chasing me down the road. I got the El Chilada right outside.
Yeah, there's something bigger going on. Yeah. So then we see the women get on mopeds, which I had to laugh because Monica could not steer her moped, which is 100% me. I won't even get on a moped. The last time I got on a moped, I hit the gas and the brake and it shot out from between my legs and fell on the street. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just going to leave that there. We find out that Meredith does not normally drive herself around, and she can't remember the last time she drove a car.
I wonder if that's because she doesn't have a license to do so.
Oh.
Yeah.
That never occurred to me.
It didn't occur to me until I was thinking about it. One of the things I was thinking about at work.
why Meredith doesn't drive.
Why she doesn't drive. And
so they go shopping. Monica, Angie, and Heather all go to a perfume shop, and Angie and Heather have forgotten their credit cards, and so Monica offers to pay for their stuff, and when they go to scan Monica's credit card, it gets declined, I guess because of an international charge.
That happened to me once, but I was 17.
So actually no, because we have the Chase card, and it'll send us things like, is this an international or travel expense or whatever,
true.
And you have to hit
That's
yes.
super fun.
So we do see Monica on her phone, and she's like, oh, okay, approve international purchases. And then I guess the card goes through. And I can only imagine how she must have been like, oh, shit.
Well, she used 2 different cards. She used a black card and then a silver card.
Oh, she did? I didn't even notice that.
Watch it again.
Well, I don't need to, but anyways, I mean, I definitely have been in a situation a long time ago, back when, we've all have, where our credit cards get declined. So.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't 17 either. I mean, yes, at 17.
Yeah, well,
and
I would even, well 22, into my 20s. Yeah, even 20, my early 30s.
The 20s were a very experimental time. It was all with my credit cards.
Yeah. So, anyway, then it flashes back, and they're back to the house, and we see the infamous phone call that we've all seen since the beginning, where Heather receives, and she's freaking out, and the producers run into her room, and she's like, get out, get out. And then we see a thing, and it says 4 hours later, and we're at dinner. And Heather tells us in her talking head that she has found out some devastating information that is going to change everything. And I was like, wow, she's really piling on the dramatic.
But then she delivered.
Yeah, exactly. So they sit down to dinner, and Heather has them play a game where everybody has their dolls that they made from the Pioneer thing that they had. And each doll has a person's name on it. And so you pick up the doll, and whoever's name is on it, you can ask them a mystery question about them, that there's a mystery that you want answered. And so Whitney goes first, and she has Lisa. And she asks Lisa why she told Monica when Monica asked where Whitney was, and I guess she was down on the beach crying. And Lisa said, well, she's probably off being dramatic. And she wants to know why it's okay for Lisa to be dramatic, but then she calls out other people for being dramatic. And Lisa's like, yeah, I can be dramatic, and so can you. We all can. And Whitney's like, was I being dramatic or was I being emotional? And I was like, oh my God, here we go. Whitney and her emotions. And Heather chimes in, well, it was pretty dramatic. And so they start going around about everybody being dramatic.
Yeah, it was at that point I started feeling bad for old Justin again.
I know.
Because he gets that every day. Justin, am I being
Let's
dramatic?
talk about our feelings.
Or am I being emotional? And he just wants to have a sandwich. You know what I mean? He's just...
Yeah. Justin, let's sit down. I have to talk about my feelings.
Just wants to hang out with the kids, maybe. Yeah. Sit down, watch a little TV. He's got 3 kids to deal with.
Yeah. Meredith goes next and asks Heather, why haven't you been more supportive to me on this trip? And Heather's like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, when we were at the dinner in the cave, you didn't stand up for me when everybody was saying that I was the one who sent Monica the DMs. And Heather's like, well, Monica was very convincing. And it wasn't just me that believed Monica sent the DMs. Everybody was saying that. Heather asks, why do you think we believed you, Monica? And Monica's like, well, because I had all the evidence and the timeline, and I threw myself right into the fire.
Which is true. She really does seem to own whatever her involvement is, not just where she tried to tonight and the girl shut her down, but in other instances, she's very clear. Yep, I did that. Yep, I made those mistakes.
Well, and then we saw her on the beach when they were talking about, sending the DMs or whatever, and I think she was like, that's something I would do. And Heather even said, don't say that. It's now Heather's turn to ask a question, and she has Meredith, but she says, I'm just going to skip over Meredith because I don't have any mysterious questions about her, but I do about Monica. So my question is for you, Monica. And she asks Monica who the real Monica is. I thought you were pretty much an open book, a truth teller, but the real Monica doesn't really want to be our friend. And I know who you are. And then it flashes back to 2 hours earlier to one of the most dramatic scenes that I think
in TV history, certainly in Housewives history,
have seen.
The wind was blowing and their gowns were flapping.
I mean,
like the witches circling around, just planning the Earth's future or something, you know?
So funny.
Earth's witches are together, saving us all.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So we see Heather on the beach, and Whitney, Meredith, and Lisa all meet her. And she's like, thank you guys for coming. And they're all like, what's going on? What's going on? Someone was like, I'm scared.
Yeah. What do we do?
What's happening? Yeah. I'm scared. And
my truth. I'm pretty sure I heard that. No, I'm kidding.
I thought it was kind of interesting that they didn't invite Angie. And a lot of people were like, yeah, but that was because she wasn't, getting blasted on the Instagram page. But if you were gathering people to let them know that the person who they thought Monica isn't who that is, wouldn't you bring Angie along so Angie would know?
Angie's not in the coven yet. That's what that meant to me.
I thought
she's in a neutral. She's in like a limbo. I would put Angie in a limbo.
But wouldn't you want to give her a heads up, like, hey, just so you know, Monica isn't really... No. I mean, I would.
She's going to figure it out in 120 minutes. Why would they?
Yeah.
And if they couldn't fully trust Angie, and that's what that was. What would, I mean? If she told Angie would have 2 hours then to go warn Monica.
Exactly. Could be. Yep. So Heather tells them that Monica is not who they think she is, and that she is the person behind the Reality Von T's Instagram account, which we all know by now is an Instagram account that was used to expose Jen Shaw. But apparently they were also posting things about all of them as well. Heather tells us in her talking head that her hairstylist, Tanisha, was friends with Monica. And that's how she got to know Monica. And I was like, okay. Heather tells us then that she was uneasy with the way Monica used to talk about sensitive information so matter-of-factly. And that... before they left for Bermuda, I found this interesting. She was at her beauty lab and laser and noticed that they had 3 Monicas in the system with 3 different last names, but all the same birthday, and how one of the Monicas never paid her bill and owed them lots of money. So did Heather know before they went to Bermuda that Monica was one of the Monicas not paying her bill?
Yeah, I think so.
I kind of after
100% think.
Yeah, when I watched this the second time and I caught that and I was like, oh, interesting.
Yep.
So I wonder if the whole time she knew something.
Oh, I think Heather was coming after Monica long before Bermuda.
Which honestly, if she wasn't paying Heather and she was ripping her off, like I could see where Heather was pissed off about that. Like, pay your bills, right? And did Monica just think that she didn't have to pay the bill because she was now on the show and friends with Heather? I know she's come out and said that she had botched work done, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That but 3 times you had it done.
Yeah, and there was also a text going around of her texting whoever did her work saying like she loves it and it looks great and all this stuff. So obviously at the time she thought it was fine.
I don't know anything about plastic surgery, so maybe it changes after a few weeks.
I don't know. Anyway, so I guess Heather took this information about the 3 Monicas and sent it to somebody, and they beeped out the name. So I don't know who she sent it to, but that was who called her back. And when we see the thing of her on the phone. So then we flash back to the beach, and the women are distraught over what Heather has just told them. And honestly, like, Meredith starts crying. Whitney's got like both of her arms out to the side, like gasping, and I was like, oh my God, did they? But
I was wondering
but
was she being dramatic?
Yeah.
Or emotional?
That whole scene was super dramatic. I mean, the way she was standing, like, it was like something off of a soap opera. It was so. It did look very staged when Whitney was like.
Yeah, Whitney's not. It's not really natural.
I don't know. Maybe they did some additional scenes and filmed that. I don't know. It looked.
I can just imagine the producers cut Whitney.
Yeah.
Please
don't be so obvious.
Yeah, please. This is reality house TV.
So Heather tells them that she wants to expose Monica at dinner that night, and then we flash back forward to the dinner where Heather is telling Monica that she knows Monica is the Instagram account Reality Von T's.
It's actually a pretty cool name.
And that she's been bullying them online for the last couple of years, and she has the proof tied to Monica's phone number. And Monica's like, well, that's not entirely true. And Lisa's like, what do you mean entirely true? Monica's like, only part of that is true. And Lisa's like, that's bullshit.
That's so bullshit.
That's bullshit.
That's so wrong. Where's my ring?
Heather tells her, you were caught on security footage in Meredith's store when, and then they beeped out the person's name, stole the clutch. And that was one of Jen's assistants. I forgot what his name was. He was been posting on Twitter too, but nothing super damning. Anyways, we then see the security footage of Monica in Meredith's store with blonde hair and a mask. Monica's like, I did not steal from you, Meredith. Meredith's like, I'm not accusing you of stealing, but you acted like you had never been in my store when clearly you had. And what I want to know is, how did Meredith figure out from the 2 hours prior when Heather said, you know, Monica is this reality Von Teese, to the fact that Monica had been in her store?
Awful
like,
quick thinking.
How did she get that? Like, how did she put that together that quickly?
We have a few examples like that.
Yeah, and I was like, how did they figure that out so quickly? Unless Meredith knew that already.
Maybe.
And she just wasn't saying anything? Like, how did she figure that out?
Amazing opportunity for her to get to bring it up at that moment.
Yeah, I was like, how did she figure that out?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless Heather showed her something in that 2 hour window that showed that Monica had been to her store. I don't know. But, I mean, she, clear as day, that was her in the video. And then we see the clip of her walking into the store with Meredith and her being like, oh my God, I love this store. I've never been here before.
Yep.
Which was weird. I mean, Monica is definitely a liar. I mean, there's no denying that.
No, I don't think anyone's, no.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, it's like I was saying before.
But why? Why not be like, I've been in here before? Why not say that?
We've said before, the ladies in Salt Lake are just a little shifty.
Oh,
and
I mean,
so
yeah.
when you mix two shifty people together, shifty things happen.
Yeah.
When you get 6 of them together, or however many there are, a lot of shifty stuff happens. So it's like, Monica does all these things, she lies, but as we kind of peel this onion, it's very interesting. Just leave it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think this reunion is going to
I think Monica's going to bring some shit. Lisa then chimes in and she's like, you used to drive by Jen Shah's house. Which Monica's like, no, I didn't. What the hell are you talking about? But then we see a clip, well, not on the show, but I saw it on Instagram, of Monica saying, I'm driving by Jen Shah's house. And she was like, I'm using this scarf as like a cover up or whatever, so she doesn't recognize me. So obviously she was doing.
That's fine. But that data point backs up what Monica was saying, was I was only after Jen.
Yeah.
So,
I guess. I mean,
it also backs up what we've been saying. Monica's a big fat liar.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really tough to kind of figure out what's actually going on.
Yeah. So Monica tells us in her talking head that the reality Von Teese was not just her, that there were other people involved. And the main objective of the Instagram account, or Finsta, was to take down Jen Shah. And unfortunately, the other women were just collateral damage. So obviously we know it was Monica, Tanisha, and Koa, I believe, is the other one.
Yeah, Koa.
Yeah, that was running this page. So Monica tells the ladies that she has nothing to do with the shit that was being said about them, just the stuff about Jen. And then Angie starts getting involved. And Monica's like, you better watch yourself. Let's talk about your involvement. And then for a minute I was like, is that why maybe Angie wasn't invited to the beach?
Yeah, for a hot second I thought that too. But.
So Angie's like, why? Because I was laughing at your stories. And then we see like screenshots of Angie liking and laughing, you know, the posts that this Von Teese website was putting out.
So does that mean that when she was liking it, and I didn't see what specific things she was liking.
It was probably all the stuff she was posting about Jen Shah. And everybody, I mean, yeah, Jen Shah was like a freaking monster. There were so many videos of her like screaming at people and acting like a fucking psycho. We saw it on the show. She would whack out and throw shit and scream at people. Like, she was completely unhinged. So if they were posting negative things about Jen Shah and she was liking it, who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless there was other stuff. I went to that Insta page and I didn't really see anything about the other ladies. So I don't know if they've been deleted. Most of the posts were about Jen Shah, like calling out Jen Shah. So I don't know. I mean, they did show like examples of what was being posted about them, like Whitney's marriage, like they were swingers or something like that, and other stuff. But for the most part, the web page looked like it was all about, or the Insta page was about Jen Shah.
Why go off the center line like that? If it's all about Jen Shah, why talk about any of the other housewives?
I don't know. Well, Monica says that wasn't her. she said that was other people.
Right. And then, so we know there's 3, but then the other lady today said a bunch of us.
Tanisha, yeah. Yeah, on her Instagram.
Remember,
she said I was with everybody at the beginning.
Everybody, and then
so,
a bunch
yeah,
of us. She also said a bunch of us.
So was, maybe I'm assuming all the assistants, the Shaw Squad. I don't know.
That's what I was wondering is...
Who else is she talking about?
That would make more sense, because the challenge with keeping a secret like that is if you just said, hey, let's get all the assistants, or even more than 3 or 4 or 5, then you may have that rogue element that be like, might have a beef or is watching the show and doesn't like this and just... boop, uses the platform that they have developed against Jen Shaw to just
post something about someone else.
Because clearly Tanisha likes fame and popularity, even though she's telling us she doesn't. She's literally posting a video every 13 seconds.
Yeah, she's been posting a lot today.
Yeah.
So she says she doesn't ever want to be famous, but at the same time, she's really posting a lot on Instagram.
She's making herself famous.
I don't know. Or maybe she's just defending herself. Who knows? I don't know.
Her story's unraveling pretty quick, though.
But, I mean, if anybody would have information about Heather, I don't know if anything was posted about Heather, but it probably would have come from Tanisha, because she was her hairdresser.
So
she was right there listening to whatever Heather was saying to other people around her, Yeah.
And I think to your point, to a lot of other we've listened to or read about today, is Heather's not 100% clean in this. There's weirdness going on there.
No, like...
What do you think about that?
Last season... I didn't like her because she was so ride or die for Jen, and like it didn't matter what was being said about Jen. She was like, I don't care, I'm going to choose to believe Jen, when it was like so obvious. The federal government doesn't have a case against you because you're innocent, right? And she was like, well, I'm just going to, she told me she was innocent. It's like, well, of course he's going to tell you she's innocent. And then she comes back this season, and I was kind of like side-eyeing her, and I was like, okay. And, she was like, I, was a victim of Jen Shaw. And I was like, you're kind of full of shit. Like, you weren't a victim. You were like a ride or die for her. And then I started liking her this season, right?
I did.
She was starting to get funny, and she was going back to like the old Heather from like the early seasons. And now she's back to this whole, like, I was ride or die for Jen, and I'm not. And I'm like, well, that was because you chose to be ride or die for Jen.
Yeah, I agree. I thought everything was fine with what Heather was doing until she compared Monica to Jen.
Right. Well, we'll get there.
Okay. Yeah, I thought Heather was really weird in this.
Yeah, I think she kind of knew what was going on. She was very performative. Like, I felt like that speech she gave was written it out, or she knew what she was going to say going into that dinner. Like, she knew she was going to have a scene.
Yeah.
So Monica calls out the ladies and her talking head and's like, yeah, all of you were watching and DMing reality Vontees. My guess is she's going to bring proof to the reunion of them sending her messages and stuff. I 100% believe that people were feeding her information, not realizing it was Monica. Which then makes me go, did the producers know when they brought Monica on who she was?
Oh, I 100% think the producers knew what they were doing.
And did Monica come in saying, I've got all this shit about these ladies.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Who've sent me messages, and I'm the person right here.
Oh, yeah.
Bring her in. Because she's not rich. I mean, she's poor. I mean, not that matters, but this is supposed to be about, like, rich housewives and all that.
They knew, though, that they needed to bring in another Jen Shaw. And the ladies without a Jen Shaw, I love them to death, but they need that catalyst.
Yeah, this season literally would, if Monica, love her or hate her, if Monica was not on this season, what would we be talking about? The rumor about, and even the rumor about Sean being gay wouldn't have been brought up because Monica was the one who brought it up. So we wouldn't have had that, which I don't really care about that anyway. We would have had Whitney felt exploited, her vagina felt exploited by Heather's book. We would have heard about Heather's book.
No, I think
Meredith brought.
Yeah, I think Monica is the center of the universe.
Nothing this season other than Monica and her having the DMs sent to them. Other than that, what did Meredith have? And Lisa would have talked about Jack's mission. That would have been the season. Without Monica, again, love her or hate her, she was the season. We had her and her mom. We had the DMs. She brought up the DMs with Meredith. She was the one who brought it up. She was like, Meredith, what about those DMs? She's the one who got Meredith to talk about the DMs. Now this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think this really was where Monica was the center of the universe that is season 4. Everyone else's story was marginally interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had Whitney's bumpy marriage. Her pretend he's not wearing his wedding ring or whatever the fuck that was. We would have had that. That would have been the story. That would have been our season without Monica.
Whitney doesn't need to come back for season 5.
Honestly, I'd be fine if they brought Monica back and left some of the other
Yeah, bring back Monica.
I'm probably going to get flamed. We're probably going to lose subscribers. Honestly, year of 2024, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to say whatever.
Yeah, good.
That's what I feel.
I think...
That's my truth. That's my truth, Sean.
No, I don't do those things. But I will say that I think a few of the housewives may need to reflect on whether they need to come back.
They should be thanking Monica for giving them the season they had. Hands down, this season was like one of the best seasons like we've seen in a very long time, right?
Of
like
any housewives.
Of any housewives.
Yeah.
Like
we're kind of struggling through some of them. No names.
Yeah, we've been struggling for a while on a lot of them, but like this reminds me of some early on housewife seasons, like where this was authentic. Apparently they didn't know Monica was tricking them. That was all real. That wasn't like this, I got to come up with a storyline. That was shit that
I do
really
wonder
happened.
if the producers were having a hand in it.
I don't care.
I think they did.
Whoever produced this, amazing.
Yeah.
Mwah. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, you should really just become a force multiplier and manage all the producers so they do it your way.
Yeah, really. Like start going
the
on all
whole show
the
was just so well
It
done.
reminds me
so well done
of like some of the early Jersey when we had like all the crazy shit going on with Danielle Staub and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, no,
amazing.
It was just the whole show
so
was
good.
very well run.
I'm afraid like now I'm like that person said, what if this was the peak for this year already and it's only January 3rd?
Let's keep hope. Hey, it's like that famous
We still have
person,
Jersey, but I mean...
we can keep hope alive.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the recap. So Monica tells them that she did not start the account, that it was Tanisha. And now, like I said on Instagram last night, Tanisha said that it was not her that started it. She's been posting since last night, all day today, a couple hours ago. I mean, every time she comes out, it's additional.
It's turning into an avalanche of posts at this point. And
I don't really know.
Her name is Tanisha?
Yeah.
So I think the thing with Tanisha is, didn't she start out kind of like, I really didn't have anything to do with this
at first
all?
she said like, I was trying to support my friends. Then she was like, okay, yeah, no, I fully admit that when it first started, I was part of the posting, which I'm like, wait, didn't you just say you were trying to be supportive to your friends? You kind of left out the whole, I was posting. Then we saw the posts of, but I
never did a drive-by, and then we found
and
out
then she did do a drive-by of Angie K's. I mean, every time she comes on, she's trying to rebuttal these receipts that keep getting posted. It is, like I said, it is an ever-evolving situation.
I guess the visual I'm looking for is a ball of yarn rolling downstairs because it's unraveling. It's unraveling.
I don't know. Yeah. So anyways, she said that it was Monica that started the page. So whatever. Somebody started the page, but there was more than one of them involved. Who cares who started the page? There was multiple people.
Because that's the person that starts the page is ever so slightly more guilty. I think Tanisha might have started the page because didn't she say she had multiple Instagram accounts?
She said she had another Finsta that she was using to look at her boyfriends, or she was using to creep on her boyfriend or fiance or something like that.
I think she said she had a couple.
But I mean, a lot of people have fake Finstas or fake Instagrams.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. So Monica tells them.
I don't even have a real one.
Sean doesn't even have an Instagram. I only have this Instagram, like for the podcast. I don't have a personal one, so whatever.
But if she's saying, I mean, with each post today, as we were listening to them, we were laughing because, like, every 13 minutes we got a new one. It was like, oh, cool, a new episode. And it'd be like this 30-second rant, and then it would stop, and then she'd start a new rant. When she had
It wasn't a rant. She was talking.
Sure. And then, but she was feeding us more and more information.
Yeah. And then someone else would reply, someone, like
right.
Koa
like,
or Monica, and they would
turning herself in because she's addicted to any kind of fame she's getting from this.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And this is the crazy thing is Heather, she still works for Heather. And I'm like, Heather. And then I was like, well, I guess keep your enemies close is what they say.
No, that's the other. How long?
Does she have information on Heather?
How long has Heather been planning this with the hairdresser and Monica, right? And
according to her,
quite a while.
No, it was during this trip. She says that.
Who, the hairdresser?
No, Heather says, I started getting suspicious of Monica and the way she was talking so matter-of-factly about things that I went to Tanisha, who was Monica's best friend at the time, and talked to her, and she admitted to everything. And that's how she knew Monica was.
I don't know. There's a lot of setup. Like, remember they had the tables arranged a certain way.
Yeah.
She had
Well,
a
the
certain
Bermuda
speech
Triangle.
as to why that was the way. It was all this stuff that was leading up. And you have to understand that type of presentation you don't do
in a 2-hour window.
Certainly not on a day.
No.
Or even if they landed in Bermuda and she said, I'm going to start planning this with the producers and everything, they would struggle to get it the way that it ran that night.
I don't know.
So this is where I'm just, something's not right. I'm not ready to say bullshit yet, but just something's not adding up here. So
I mean, listen, I would kind of...
How do you know to have a game of dolls?
I'm going to come at it from Heather's side.
Okay.
If somebody owed me money and was lying about the shit they were doing and all that, would I want to go out of my way to like call them out? And I'm on a TV show. Hell yeah. I kind of see you want if it happened before the timeline. I mean, this is a reality show. We know like sometimes this shit doesn't happen as we're watching it.
Right.
So I could see where she was putting this shit together, right? That isn't what bothered me. What bothered me is how she still is saying, you know, the whole Jen Shaw. I had to, but we haven't gotten there yet. But that's what really bothered me about Heather. So let's finish this recap real quick. Okay, so Monica tells them, I was the one who posted videos of Jen that I had taken. And Lisa's like, well, does that mean that you're going to record all of us and then post the videos when you get mad at us online? And Monica's like, what are you talking about? And then she calls Lisa an old piece of shit, leathery, rubbery bitch, Donald Trump fan. I was like, holy shit. How does she come up with like that verbiage so quickly?
So she uses it on other people. Yeah.
I really hate the way she keeps calling Lisa Barlow like old and ugly, and to me that is like the lowest form of rebuttal. You know what I mean? Like if you're not going to say something logical, what you're just going to go to, you're old, you're ugly.
It basically says you really don't have any creativity.
And you don't have any
you're not
like anything to back up what you're saying.
And I think, you know, Lisa was kind of smart to just like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Well, they start fighting, and you see like the producers trying to open up the glass door. And
should we go out there?
I know, they couldn't get the door open. So Lisa says, I don't want somebody around us that's going to post videos of us online. And Monica's like, well, then don't treat your employees bad, and then nobody will. Monica then swears that she only posted about stuff about Jen and that she will take that to her grave. And so they all start yelling at how she's been betraying all of them for years and that she needs to leave. And then Heather gets up, and this is where she starts giving her speech about how all of them were scared about, you know, Jen's reactions, and they were all ride or die for Jen, and how she felt like she had to lie to defend Jen, and how now she's starting to feel that way about Monica.
I ate every day for her. I felt like I had to lie to protect her. I did whatever it took. I went on book tour and defended her and took for the fact that she gave me a black eye. What? Wow.
Well, I'm glad you finally told the truth for once.
That was what bothered me so about Heather, because nobody told her to lie and not tell everybody who gave her the black eye. We all knew it was Jen Shaw. We saw videos of them together the whole night. They were wasted. We knew it was Jen Shaw that gave her that black eye. And she lied when people were like, was it Jen? And she was like, no. And nobody told her to do that. Nobody told her to go on her book tour and defend Jen and say it wasn't her. Nobody told her to do any of that. And I'm like, what does this have to do with Monica?
Nothing at all. And in fact, they're completely opposite, because she was very loyal, very trusting, very ride or die with Jen, but she was complete opposite with Monica, right? You're not ride or die at all if, like, as you're landing, you're planning this dinner, or even that morning, you know. I mean, she's going after Monica. I think she's been negative towards Monica for quite a while now.
Well, and that was her point. She was like, I'm not making that mistake again. But also...
But then you just go, like, total batshit crazy, and then, you know...
Yeah, but I'm like, well, for one,
to
Jen was a criminal. She punched you in the eye, and you defended, you lied. That has nothing to do with what Monica's doing. Granted, Monica...
We're not defending...
right, I'm not defending Monica's actions, right. But for her to like somehow act like she was some sort of a victim who had to carry this burden on her back of defending Jen Shaw and ride or dying for her. I'm like, nobody made you do that.
Right, and so
that
I'm
was
going
your
to attack
choice.
you. And
right, so yeah, so now I'm going to attack you.
Exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was what bothered me about Heather.
Right, because I will say Heather was impressive in getting her research and trying to figure it out. But with all that work she did, she still didn't quite have the full story, as we found out when Monica very quietly got up and left. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, so then
Monica
Heather
knows
tells
something.
Monica to pack her bags and go. And Monica just gets up and she walks away.
She looked like almost like she had like a Mona Lisa smile too when she did it.
Because she's got shit on all of them.
Yep, she knows something.
So we then see everybody's wrap-up cards, and honestly, none of them were interesting. Again, if Monica wasn't there this season, this is what the season would have been. So Heather has been hanging out with her daughters, but not talking about sex. Whitney has been teaching her daughter to drive a golf cart and to navigate the bumpy road of her marriage. Lisa sent Jack off on his mission and is now focusing on Henry. Angie and Sean are working on their marriage, and Electra now sleeps in her own bed. Meredith, I guess.
Mostly.
Yeah, that's right. Mostly. Meredith has been taking baths. I guess that's what she's been up to, and is upgraded to a jacuzzi.
Way to shatter those glass ceilings.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, who cares? Whatever.
Yeah, then
she works her ass off.
We then get Monica telling us that there is so much more that needs to be said, but this was not the time, and that everybody's going to want to hear what she has to say. So obviously, she is bringing some shit to the reunion, and I cannot wait. We get a clip of the reunion, and we see Monica has a burn book, which I really hope we get to see all the contents of. And all the ladies are like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, you're not doing this, because there's probably shit in those books about you.
Like I said,
that's going to come out, and you don't want to.
6 shady people in a room together.
Yeah.
There's some shade about to happen.
So that is it, you guys. That is how this season ended, and it was amazing. I know, right? Bravo. Chef's
Great
kiss.
job. Mwah, mwah. It was excellent.
I'm seeing all kinds of things online where people are like, Monica shouldn't come back next season, and I'm like, why? We literally had Jen Shaw on up until she went to prison. We had Teresa till she went to prison. We had Teresa when she got out of prison. We have Tom Sandoval on Vanderpump Rules, who is a total piece of shit. They asked Rachel to come back, and she said no. She was the big time villain.
That's true.
So how is Monica any different than any of these other people who are still on, well, except for Jen, she's in jail, who are still on the Bravo franchises?
I think another way to ask this is look at their ratings last year.
Yeah.
Look at their ratings this year. And to all those people that want Monica gone, okay, I understand that. Let's have a debate. What's your solution? To just remove her, or are you going to replace her? And if you replace her, with who? Who are you going to risk? She was a rookie of the year.
Bring Monica back on.
Yeah.
We can dive deeper into her
problem.
mom's thing. Yeah. We can dive into a lot of things. I mean, honestly, I think...
And it's not just Monica. I think Monica is good with these gals. So, Andy, you're going to have to make this work.
You're not going to... Well...
You can get rid of a couple of them, but... You're going to have to make
a lot of them
work.
said that they won't film with her. So bring Mary on.
How many times has Teresa and what's her name? Melissa said that. Well, and they ended up doing, maybe this time they won't. But
now the current season coming up in the spring, they did not film together.
Okay, but that was like after years of them saying
yeah, right. So anyways, we got something from Jen Shaw. She has reached out from jail. Somebody obviously is posting for her on her Instagram. But so she said, Bravo, if I punched Heather in the eye, you guys would have footage to prove it. It's clear the show can't live without me since I was brought up at the beginning, middle, and end of the season. Andy is still butthurt that I turned down his one-on-one interview. Why would you sit down with someone who gave another cast member a black eye? Next story. So she says she's not watching this in prison, but obviously she is.
Or
somebody is. Whoever's running her account is.
Someone's feeding her information.
Yeah. So anyways, it was a great show, you guys. I'm sad it's over. I'm excited for the reunion.
I know, but it's only 3 episodes.
I know. I actually, when I went on the Internet Movie Database, it showed 2. It might have changed, but he did say it was going to be a 3-part interview, so
He did.
a reunion. All right, guys, that is all we have for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Tomorrow we will be back with our recap of Beverly Hills. So we will talk to you then. Bye.
Take care, everyone.